Hey everyone, it's Anna here at Dee's for another Everyday Magnolia Grapevine Wreath you can use all year long. We posted one a few months ago and unfortunately we're out of the supplies to make that one, so I wanted to go ahead and create one that you can order the supplies to make yourself on shopdeeslouisville.com, and just a little bit different of a style than the one you saw before. But again, it's just a nice neutral wreath you can use all year long, and it's so easy to make. So first up, I've chosen 3 of these magnolia stems that kind of have a lot going on. If you know me, I love a mixed pick because you get a little of everything. It's not just the magnolia bloom. It's got the fun little twigs, the berries, and the leaves. The reason I like these is because you buy one stem. This guy's only $7.99 and he fills up so much of the wreath. So I am going to use 3 of these today, kind of like this. We're going to do a little bit on the bottom like normal, but we're also going to do some here at the top too. And I'm going to actually go a little bit more top heavy just to give you a different technique. But I love those, so we're going to start out with those. First up, I'm going to rip that price tag off, cut the stem off, and dunk it in a little hot glue. So my plan for this one is to do kind of one here, then one facing the opposite direction, and then one down here. So we get that nice, really pretty look where we still see a little grapevine, but it's got a nice fullness to it. So I dunked that in some hot glue. I'm going in here at an angle. This is an 18-inch grapevine wreath frame. It's what we consider medium, but it still works really well on a front door to fill it up really nicely. So I'm just gonna fluff this guy out. Grab another one. See, this is what it comes in looking like. So if you order the kit online to make this yourself, they're gonna come in like this. I always pull that magnolia down first. Turn back those pretty petals. Then I work my way to the leaves. Kind of just pull them down. They all kind of want to go a certain direction. Open up those twigs. Just let it follow the way it's kind of been made. And that's how it's going to look the most lifelike. Ready to chop that one off. Glue on the bottom. This one again at an angle. I go right in there. I'm leaving a little bit of a gap because I don't want my magnolias to touch each other. And I'm also, of course, going to add some ribbon in there. So let's pull these guys down. The nice thing about this too is working with the grapevine. So I've put those both on there and I feel like it needs to be a little bit more at an angle. So all I'm going to do is just turn it a little and see how nice that looks. It just looks better at an angle. That is oftentimes why I add like a little pipe cleaner wreath hanger on last, because I want to be able to adjust it if I need to. Last, I'm going to grab the third one of those, do the same thing, fluff it out. Chop it off. And this one, I'm kind of going to go directly across from the gap there in the wreath down here. So push that in, and then now you're going to pull this stem. Instead of all going kind of one direction like we did here, you're going to bring some to the left and some leaves to the right, just so it looks more spread out. So on this one, I'm going to add ribbon, but I also chose this really beautiful kind of mini wild rose berry stem. The reason I like this is because it gives us a different greenery with all different colors and texture. And it also gives us some berries and then these little like kind of roses that almost look like hydrangeas. So I grabbed one of those and I'm going to cut it into thirds to fill in, but I'm going to do ribbon first and then this last is the filler. So for ribbon, I chose this beautiful 2.5-inch green and white plaid. Look how pretty it is on there. And again, this is one you can use all the time. But I love this one here that I also chose. I did 2 plaids together. It's green, but it's got a tiny bit of coral running through it that looks just like the berries that are on the wild rose stem we're going to use. And I just love that because it's so pretty. And I like the 2 together, just 2 different plaids for something different. I'm going to start out by making the bow for the top. I'm going to make the bow for the top a little bit larger with a little bit longer of tails. And then the one at the bottom is going to be smaller. So up here, I'm just going to make about a 5-inch loop and then another 5-inch loop. And again, leave that tail longer. Leave it almost 2 feet, 18 to 20 inches. Grab your other plaid. Lay it right on top. Make yourself another couple 5-inch loops. And leave that tail a little longer too. Now I've got the bow ready for up here, and if you want, you can kind of hold it and see, make sure your loops are the right size. Wire it off, and you're gonna go right between those 2 magnolias with this bow. So kind of move them out of your way, lay it onto the grapevine, and then I'm just gonna twist, because what's nice is these magnolias look good all year. You could even take this off and put a red bow for Christmas, put an orange plaid bow for fall, because magnolias look good all year. Now you're ready to bring those magnolias back down and move around your loops. So the first tail, the long tail, I'm gonna bring towards the center of the wreath, kind of like that. And then that other one I'm gonna bring more towards the right over here, kind of behind this magnolia, coming out this way. And then bring this guy back forward. Now I'm ready to cut those tails. Again, I'm gonna leave this one long. I can always cut it shorter later if it hangs a little bit too low, but for now I'm gonna leave it long. There's another one up there. And then there's one down over here. Okay, so I've got all those cut. Bring that green loop kind of to the front. See, and just adjust it. Step back and make sure it's kind of what you're wanting. All right, and now I'm ready to do the ribbon at the bottom. So I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna make the bow a little smaller at the bottom. I'm gonna start with the plaid, and I'm just gonna do a piece of this, because I think when I look at that bow, that plaid really stands out a lot that has the coral, and I don't wanna do too much color, so I'm gonna just do a little strip of that. It's about 24 inches. And then I'm gonna do 2 loops of this green plaid again. So I'm gonna make a couple loops. They're gonna be a little smaller than those. Those are 5-inch. These are gonna be more like a little 4-inch. Go on and cut that. Grab another piece of wire to tie that off. And you're gonna go behind this magnolia stem. I'm gonna show you. So you're gonna wanna move this guy out of the way. Since you've separated your stem and half of it goes this way, half of it goes that way, you're gonna tie it right behind that magnolia flower bloom. So I'm just gonna, again, twist that guy on so I can twist it off if I want to. Then bring that magnolia to the middle of this bow. Cut those tails. And then you can move everything around. All right, and now I'm ready. This part right here bothers me a little bit, so I'm gonna move it around, adjust it, put that loop where I want it. I think that looks better. Okay, now I'm gonna add this guy in. So as you can see, he'll easily cut into 3 chunks. So I'm gonna cut the long one, then just pull down on the stem a little bit to separate it away from the main stem, chop it off. Same thing on this side, pull it away from that main stem. Sometimes they pop right off and you can just give them a clean cut. And then again, step back and look at it and kind of see where you want to fill in. I'm going to do a little bit up here first. Let's go right in here. And as you can see, it just adds a different little texture. It adds a little pop of that coral. And then definitely bring those little white blooms up towards the front. Got another one here. I'm going to do this one kind of behind here, going this direction to fill in. Don't be afraid to bring it in around the loops. And then lastly, I've got one more. I'm going to go right down here at this spot too. So I'm going to go right past this tail. Since it's all wired, I can bring some up kind of towards the middle of the wreath. I can leave some off to the side, but it really just fills it in nicely. And if you want it even more full, like you want to see less grapevine, you could always grab another one of those to fill in. But there you have it. That was so quick and easy. Once you have all the parts you need, it's super simple to put together because we use those mix picks that make it very easy to do. And this is one of the ones that you can go on shopdeeslouisville.com and grab the kit. It comes with all the stems that you need to create this, and you can do it yourself at home. Follow along with the video.